Welcome everyone, I am Mad Capper, and this is going to be my second Raid Shadow Legends video. My first video was the Unkillable Comp Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss Auto Team. If you haven't checked it out, please go look at my videos, check it out. If you're looking to put together an Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss team featuring an Unkillable / Immortal comp, I use one Unkillable, one Immortal, it does the same thing. That is going to help you out there. But today we're going to talk about Spider 20, and we're going to talk about specifically Miscreated Monster. Miscreated Monster is a beast in the Spider 20 dungeon, and I've got him on my Spider 20. He does an anywhere from 53 second to 215 team. Let's go into my team. I'll show you what the team I use is. We'll talk about each of their abilities, and then we'll do a couple runs and show you how things go. The difference with the Spider Den is Affinity becomes an absolute game changer in each level. So when you're trying to progress, typically the first stopgap is right here. This is where you're jumping from the 12 to the 14 energy, and here's where you're jumping from the 4-5 to the 4-6. Mostly you get through it through killing the spiderlings so you can get to the main boss. The best part is you don't have to auto these early levels. You can run them manually or auto as you choose. What I find most people have the problem with is stage 15. Stage 15 is a force affinity, so it's really difficult to get through. Plus, it's one of the Arbiter missions to do it 10 times. So you don't just need to have a stage 15 team. You have to have a stage 15 team that can beat it multiple times. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you do not have to do stage 15 auto on the Fire Knight and Spider. That could be wrong. I don't have my Arbiter missions that I can go back and look. It disappears. So, but I seem to recall you didn't have to auto those. The key to stage 20 is not beating it. I have a 33 second time. That was not an auto time, obviously. Let's just go in and we'll take a look at the team and what I use. This is my team here. As you can see, first and foremost, I have a Royal Guard. Royal Guard hits like a truck. He is exactly what you need to burst down that damage on your main spider to finish it quickly. He's also got a speed reduction, which is very helpful against trying to do the turn meter manipulation. The second hard hitter, of course, is the Cold Heart. I think everybody by now would probably know about the Cold Heart and what it can do for you. This Cold Heart is specifically there for turn meter reduction and dealing a ton of damage. But keep in mind, she also has an AoE which helps control the spiders. Because I have a biggin, I am actually deploying a little bit of a mixed method here, because I am bursting down the spider, but I'm also killing the spiderlings. I have Savage Gear, and it's not even great Savage Gear. I'll show it to you in a moment. But that gear absolutely is the difference maker in killing this spider. Sometimes I can't even edit out the crap that I rattle on about. I'm going to go over this very quickly. Rosin is my weak affinity tank. That means he is weak affinity to the Spider 20, who is a spirit champion or a spirit boss. He is a force champion. That means under 99% of the conditions, the spider and spiderlings will attack Rosin. That is a key piece. Rosin's main here is to 1, be the tank, 2, land his weaken plus decreased defense debuff so that we hit harder, and 3, bog down as an added bonus if he happens to land it. I'm not going to get all 3 of those all the time because he has a 30% chance to weak hit, but when we do get those, and over 2 or 3 rounds we will definitely get them, it's going to be a beneficial hit for the team, and that's why I have my final champion, who is Miscreated Monster. It's amazing how often I can talk and say nothing. Here we go. This is Miscreated Monster. He is the 5th and arguably the most important of this team composition for Spider 20. Miscreated Monster puts up a shield based on his max HP. When we look at his kit and I show you what his stats are, you'll understand why that is such an integral part. When he puts up his shield, it is an AoE, and it's based, so you hit the AoE and then your shield is based on damage, and your damage is based on HP. So if I put him in full crit, hit lots of crit damage, and have lots of HP, he's going to have a bigger shield. That shield is going to help Rosin survive. As long as Rosin survives, the whole comp works, and once we run it through, you'll see what I mean by that. But the key to Miscreated Monster is his shield. He also has an ally protect, which is helpful, although in this current running, there's not a whole lot of time that shows up. Maybe if I miss my weaken and my decreased defense and I have to go a little bit longer, That's where the ally protection sometimes comes into play, but typically, again, it's about his shield. His shield keeps Rosin alive, and it really does some major ass kicking. So let's take a look at the champions, and we'll see what we'll do with each of them. So the first one is Rosin. Like I said, he was in my Nightmare, and he was speed tuned because I was using a counterattack team. So I just replaced this, which gave him a little more speed. He used to only have, obviously, he had like 176 speed, so that he was still within the parameters needed for Nightmare Clan Boss. Now I can start looking at him, start tuning him up. I'm looking at changing all this gear to maximize his speed, get better crit rate, and of course I want to get his defense over 5k right now. He is at I think 4,500, or sorry, 3,500. So he's at 3,689 with 39,000 hit points. His crit rate is next to nothing, but he does have a debuff accuracy of 224, which allows him to hit the spider consistently. His debuff resistance is 162. If I tried to get that above 200, he might have a better chance at resisting spider poisons. However, as you'll see through this run, it is not really a critical piece of the puzzle, because I do have not one but two different that actually debuff accuracy, and this is one of the few times that debuff accuracy actually helps your team in ways that people don't normally mention when they're talking about Spider 20. Sorry, my second one of this team is, of course, Biggin. Biggin is a beast. I have him in Savage Gear. It's not amazing Savage Gear, and I also put it up to 16 because of the recent artifact event. But as you can see, he's got double attack on here, so that's going to help him hit really hard. He's got crit rate 50. He also got attack here, a little defense, whatever, crit damage, HP. Not ideal. Ideally, I'd like a double or triple roll on crit rate on crit damage gloves, but I haven't been able to really reliably farm the Fire Knight, and so I don't have a whole lot of options, but this does work. Here I do have some more crit damage, more crit rate, and a 16 helmet. This is one of my favorite pieces because I got double HP, double crit rate, plus a little bit of accuracy and speed. That's a pretty good 6-star shield. And I have attack 50% with a double HP. The reason why I went with it, normally I go with HP chest plates on attack heroes just so they have some survivability, but the fact that I was able to get so many double roll HP on this, I mean, I have almost everything has some kind of HP on it, so he actually has a lot of survivability without, so I was able to go to HP and still get a reasonable amount of attack out of him. And finally, he's got speed boots with a double crit damage and again some HP and attack percent. Next up on our list of champions we're using is, of course, the Miscreated Monster. Now, Miscreated Monster, I had some pretty good immortal sets. So I do have the double immortal. He is actually my highest power champion right now at 50,000 power. I've got a lot of work to do on my other champions, needless to say, but this does make him a bit of a beast. When you look at his total stats here, he's got 67,000 hit points. Attack is 1,400, not a huge deal. Defense 1,400, it could be better. His speed at 158, I would like to get that about 180. So that is one of the areas I do want to min-max with him and look for gear that can still do that without sacrificing his hit points. Here's the key here, he's got 104% crit rate, so his crit rate is maxed. And crit damage at 142, the higher the better for making his shield, so it's always a good thing. He does have a debuff resistance. I actually do not need that resistance that high anymore. The only reason he happens to have it that high is because I was using him as a tank in the force affinities to get through, and I've just never remaxed his gear to take that resistance off and go for something different. His accuracy is also 280. That's my Miscreated Monster. Royal Guard, of course, as we talked about. I'm still continually working on him, but I think he's pretty good. First of all, he has a set of Immortal Guild for a little bit of survivability. He's got a set of the crit damage gear so that he can hit really hard. And of course, I have him in crit rate gloves. Ultimately, if I rebuild him, I do want crit damage gloves with a crit rate substat. But honestly, he still hits pretty hard like this. So this one is, obviously, she's got really good crit damage here. 30k health, 2600 attack. That could be better, but I'm not really. For this, it is irrelevant. Defense, whatever, irrelevant. Speed 176. I feel like I need 181 on her. I think she goes first, which is fine because she'll use her AoE first. You'll see it in the run. Crit rate 70, which is what you need. The 30% chance to crit on her ulti makes that exactly what you need. And 247 crit damage, pretty good. always want higher, but that's a pretty good one. And she is going to land her turn meter down at 236. So one of the keys to this and what makes this work really well, and I've also used Sylar in this strat. I find Biggin is a much better unit to use, a much better champion than Sylar, only because Sylar is a really good kit, and I can certainly swap her in. This turn meter reduction is huge. Plus, it puts down the decreased speed. I have her fully booked for her A3. This is always nice because she does a decreased accuracy. The reason why I stopped using her is quite simply I have a Cold Heart. The Cold Heart has decreased accuracy. I have the Biggin. Defense down, decreased speed, AoE, stun, decreased accuracy. Plus, he's got the hit the one, and then if it hits a second time, all enemies. All three of these are AoE because he gets 100%, and he is actually strong affinity. So it just made more sense. It's not with me. So that's my team for the thing. Let's just get right into it. Let's play around and see what happens. Okay, while we run through this, let's talk about some other options you have. Now, if you do not have this team comp, if you only have some of these, you need a weak affinity tank, and without Rosin, you don't have that weaken and defense down, but he is not the best option for weaken and defense down. Your best options are actually Venus, the legendary Void Sacred Order champion, or you can use Dracomorph, who not only has great poisons, but has that weaken and decreased defense debuff, and is actually strong affinity to the spider. They're both better options for that debuff, which you really need to maximize your damage on your two heavy damage dealers. The problem then becomes you've replaced Rosin with one of those two, you don't have a weak affinity tank. So you'd have to replace, in my case, I'd have to replace Biggin with a weak affinity defense-based champion. Nazana is a perfect opportunity for that. She has the right toolkit to be able to do that, and you'd still be using your Miscreated Monster to create that shield. If you don't have a Miscreated Monster and you still need that option, just load Nazana up with all the defense, about 4k defense, about 60 to 70,000 hit points, and she should still be able to make it through the run. You can put someone like Bad Alcazar in there, who with those double heal, continuous heals, is absolutely going to keep your team available. I don't have many of these champions, so I haven't been able to do it. This is what works best for me. If you're using an HP burn strat, then you are not going to want Biggin on the team, or you're going to retune him not to do damage and just use him for his debuffs. His debuffs are still critical. He does turn meter reduction, and he does that decreased accuracy to reduce the number of poisons. Those are also critical and very helpful when running through the spider, especially when doing an HP burn. You want to keep those spiderlings alive. So you're still going to use a Royal Guard. You're still going to use the Cold Heart, but you're going to be using a Venus or maybe the Ultimate Gallic or Ignatius to be able to HP burn, and then it's just a matter of having your weak affinity tank and your Miscreated Monster to be able to tank the damage until your spider dies. Either way, great options available. Check the link in the description below. I want to do a special shout out to Verdy, who has been instrumental in helping me and many others with Spider 20, and frankly all areas of the game. So feel free to check out Verdy's channel. It'll be in the link in the description below. And also Chosen, who is also a clanmate, and he is amazing YouTuber who has amazing videos out there for you to help you. He's got champion guides. He's got a whole bunch. He's got the list of champions that everyone likes to refer to for good or bad, but he's an amazing content creator, probably one of the best. And those two have really helped me with my Spider 20, so I would do special call outs to them. Most importantly, I want to thank you for watching this. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. Any questions, concerns, or just general comments, please put a comment down below. Feel free to subscribe. I'm going to try to do at least one video a week. More if I am able to, and more if you want to. So with that, I'm going to sign off. I want to thank you once again for watching the video. And most of all, be sure to keep your stick on the ice and don't eat yellow snow.